You finally sit down. The work is done. The messages are answered. No one is upset with you. Nothing urgent is waiting. And yet your body will not soften. Your shoulders stay slightly tight. Your jaw doesn't unclench. You reach for your phone without thinking. You stand up again. You check something that doesn't need checking. You tell yourself, relax, but something in you refuses. Why does rest feel unsafe when nothing is actually wrong? Why does calm feel unfamiliar? Why does your body stay on alert even when the day is over? It shows up in small ways. You finish dinner, and instead of sitting still, you start cleaning something unnecessary. You open your laptop again, just to make sure. You scroll, not because you're interested, but because silence feels uncomfortable. You lie down at night, and your mind searches for something to fix. If there isn't a real problem, it invents one. Did I forget something? Did I miss a detail? Is something about to go wrong? Even when the room is quiet, your nervous system isn't. Maybe it started subtly. You were praised for being responsible. You learned that being prepared meant being safe. You noticed that when you stayed alert, you avoided criticism. So you built a habit. Stay ready. Stay sharp. Stay scanning. Now, even in peaceful moments, you don't fully exhale. In relationships, it shows up as emotional monitoring. If your partner is quiet, you scan their tone. If a friend takes longer to reply, you analyze what you said. If a meeting ends awkwardly, you replay it before bed. You tell yourself you're just being thoughtful, but your body feels like it's bracing. At work, it becomes productivity, anxiety. You finish one task and immediately look for the next, not because you love working, but because stopping feels exposed. If you relax, something might slip. Socially, it feels like subtle vigilance. You enter a room and automatically assess the energy. Who seems distant? Who seems tense? Where do I stand? Even when everything is fine, your nervous system whispers, check again. Over time, this does something to your identity. You become the dependable one, the prepared one, the composed one. But internally, you feel tired because you rarely experience deep, unguarded rest. Here is the truth that softens this. This pattern is not a flaw. It is protection. Your brain learned that vigilance equals safety. Somewhere in your history, calm did not always feel stable. Maybe mistakes led to criticism. Maybe unpredictability meant emotional tension. Maybe peace was often interrupted. So your nervous system adapted. It decided that staying slightly activated was smarter than fully relaxing. At the core of this is a simple mechanism. The trigger is not danger itself. It is the absence of stimulation. When activity drops, your amygdala begins scanning. It asks, is this safe? If your history includes moments where calm preceded stress, your threat system associates stillness with risk. Your amygdala activates mild alertness, not panic, just readiness. Then your default mode network turns on. This network runs self-reflection and mental simulation. When you're not occupied, it fills the space. If it senses potential threat, it begins searching. What could go wrong? What did I miss? What should I prepare for? Your brain believes this is helpful. It believes tension is proactive. It believes scanning prevents harm. Over time, a reinforcement cycle forms. You feel restless. You check something. You find nothing wrong. You feel temporary relief. That relief rewards the vigilance. So next time calm appears, your brain repeats the cycle. Imagine it like a smoke detector, set slightly too sensitive. It is not broken. It just learned to detect even the smallest shift as possible smoke. Rest feels like silence before a possible alarm. A simple model for this: calm, threat prediction, vigilance, temporary relief, reinforcement. The problem is not that your brain protects you. The problem is that it never receives updated evidence that calm can be safe. So how do you shift this without forcing yourself to just relax? First, stop fighting the tension. When you notice restlessness, do not label it as failure. Instead, say internally, "This is my nervous system trying to protect me." That sentence recruits your prefrontal cortex. It reduces amygdala reactivity. You move from being inside the activation to observing it. Second, practice micro-exposures to safe stillness. Do not aim for 30 minutes of meditation. Start with 2 minutes. Sit without checking your phone. Notice the discomfort. Do nothing about it. Neurologically, this teaches your amygdala that stillness does not automatically lead to threat. Each repetition lowers prediction error. Third, introduce safety signals intentionally. Your brain needs cues: warm light, slow breathing, gentle physical pressure like a blanket, soft background sound. These cues shift your autonomic system toward parasympathetic regulation. You are not forcing relaxation. You are signaling safety. Fourth, interrupt the scanning narrative. When your mind starts searching for problems, label it. This is vigilance. Do not argue with it. Just name it. Labeling reduces default mode, network dominance, and increases cortical regulation. Fifth, reward rest consciously. When you experience even a small moment of genuine ease, notice it. This feels different. Your brain learns through attention. If you never mark calm as successful, vigilance remains the dominant strategy. Over time, something subtle shifts. You begin to feel the difference between necessary alertness and habitual tension. You start noticing that nothing collapses when you sit still. You realize that peace does not automatically invite disaster. And this is where the deeper change happens. You stop confusing tension with responsibility. You stop confusing vigilance with value. You begin allowing calm to exist without earning it. There may still be nights where your mind searches. There may still be moments when you reach for your phone automatically. That does not mean you failed. It means your nervous system is practicing a new pattern. The goal is not permanent relaxation. The goal is flexible regulation. Alert when needed, calm when possible. If this feels familiar, ask yourself tonight, when I am calm, what do I expect to happen next? That question alone begins to expose the old association. And when you sit in quiet later and your body tightens slightly, instead of fixing it, try this. Let it exist. Notice it. Breathe slowly. Do nothing. And see what happens. Because sometimes the most powerful proof your brain needs is not reassurance. It is experience. The experience that nothing breaks when you rest. If this described your evenings, comment with one word: vigilance. Naming it is the first step in loosening it. And if even one quiet moment feels safer after this, then your nervous system just learned something new, and that is where real calm begins.